Sure.
John Kerbick from the We the People program. You had talked about the sales tax, how they during the RISD crisis, or to pay back, they raised it to 7%. What do you know about the legislation? What they were supposed to do away with the luxury tax on cars or on your registration to get you?
I think that's being phased out. I think it's been reduced. I haven't kept track of what's going on since I've left the legislature.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that I think that's such a bad tax, frankly. I mean, I bought a new car a couple of years ago, and if I can afford to buy a new car, maybe that's not a bad basis for me paying a little more taxes.
Right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Charles Paserno. Mr. Driver, first of all, you talk about all this bad legislation. Do you realize that you're not exposing where the genesis of the legislation actually comes from? Are you familiar with ALEC?
The legislative...
American Legislative Education Council.
Yeah.
They make up the legislation. They hand it to the Democrats, representatives and senators, and Republicans also. And basically, it's corporations. They buy in at different levels, the Jefferson level, the Madison level, the Lincoln level, and Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Pizza King, whatever. It doesn't matter, the corporation. But basically, they make legislation. They hand it into all 50 states. And people like you pass their legislation in. You've gotten their legislation before, have you? Have you ever sponsored one of their bills?
Pardon me?
Have you ever sponsored one of their bills?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, have you ever voted on one of their bills? Let's put it that way.
I don't think they're identified, and I'm not sure how many of them are from ALEC. I'm sure they are coming from the lobbyists. I think there's no question about that. The lobbyists, by the way, don't have to talk to the peasants. I was one of the peasants there. They go straight to the speaker. They go straight to the Senate president. They go to the majority leaders. And to those people, they have already been contributing money. And they don't have to waste their time talking to their rank and file members. But I wouldn't be surprised if, as you say, some bills are coming from a national organization and going to all states, but many of them are not.
It's American Legislative Educational Council, ALEC. Okay, let's get that explicitly straight here. That there's subdivisions through the government, through corporations to control the populace, which is wrong. All right, the government and the business are supposed to be separate. They're not supposed to be married. This is part of the reason that we're going down the tubes right now, is because of the marriage of government and business.
On the one hand, yes, and on the other hand, if you're in business in Rhode Island, you got to be very nervous whenever the legislature's in session. In fact, everybody in Rhode Island should be nervous when the legislature's in session. The business people hire a lobbyist to look out for their interests. The rest of us mostly don't.
Okay, well, I'm very glad you put that out there, because you are a Democrat, are you not, sir?
I'm running as a Democrat. I've been independent. I've been Republican.
Right.
I'm the same guy no matter what.
All right, when you swear allegiance to the flag, who do you swear allegiance to?
The Constitution, as far as I'm
The
concerned.
Republic.
Yeah.
You swear allegiance to the Republic, not to democracy. Democracy is the shoehorn to socialism. Do you understand that? That no democracy has ever survived over 200 years?
Well, that may be true, but all I can say is I'll go up there and I'll object to the sort of thing that I've given you examples of, and which is still going on today. Hasn't got any better. And if I go there and if I object, it'll probably still go on. But there'll be one guy at least that says this isn't right, and I'm going to vote no. And if you don't let me read the bills, I'm not going to vote on them at all. There was one day when the bills were flying by, and one was coming hot off the press, and I said, "Excuse me, Mr. Speaker, I haven't read this bill." "Oh, well, we'll take 5 minutes and let Representative Driver read the bill." While that 5 minutes was going on, other bills were flying by. Now, I couldn't read this and pay attention to that at the same time. It was ridiculous. And we get bad legislation this way.
Well, that's how it works in a democracy. You know, it's not a constitutional republic. You do not truly represent the people that you are elected by. Okay? You came to the junkyard years ago, and you asked, because it was in your district, you asked, what do people need this stuff for? You know, you did not want the junkyard to exist. The junkyard owns the government. The government does not own the junkyard. Okay? This is, as far as I'm concerned, you are not for the people, sir. You are for whatever situation you're for. Now, you claim to be for the people, but I do not see you as someone for the people, by any means.
Well, I've got an opponent. Maybe if you were in the district, you could vote for him.
I refuse to register and vote anymore because, as far as I'm concerned, our government was lost 20 years ago because of the likes of you who are installing the democracy and destroying our constitutional republic, destroying my freedoms, destroying my rights, and installing a government that's going to lead to a communist, fascist, socialist form of government that I have. It's abhorrent to my standards and my reasons and beliefs.
Well, I tell people if you don't vote, you're probably right. It's better to let somebody else make the decisions for you. And I run into a lot of people who are proud of the fact they don't vote.
But you, sir, are taking an oath to uphold both the state of Rhode Island Constitution and the state of and the federal Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, and you violate that oath of office by putting in these various bills and all by voting for them.
What bills did I put in? Can you explain?
Well, I'm not going to give you any direct thing because I don't
because
have
you
my
don't
dossier.
know.
But I have a dossier on you. Don't ever doubt it.
Well,
Okay?
tell us
You know
about
the
it.
type of guy that I am. I got dossiers on a lot of people in this state.
But you're going to solve the problem by not voting. Well, lots of luck.
I'll solve the problem by when the revolution comes, which is going to come shortly, because we're not going to be able to take this anymore, because you're going to tax us to death, and you're going to destroy our freedoms to death, and people like you don't understand about people own the government. The government does not own the people. You need to live up to your constitutional oath, under the federal Constitution and the state of Rhode Island Constitution, sir. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
This concludes this program broadcast. We the People, a freedom of speech television show. Go to www.wethepeopleofri.org.